Thursday afternoon, and it is, well, I'm a little late. It's after 1. Got something on my phone. Um, so, a few things to talk about. I wrote this morning about, in my blog, about Siva. Siva meaning selfless service. And it can be rightly considered a means of practicing karma yoga. Flower's here. Hi. Flower, how are you? How was school? I'm Googling up some stuff. Yeah, Seva, S-E-V-A, means practicing selfless service. And you generally practice selfless service to, again, as a means of karma yoga, and you liken it to surrendering everything to God. You're not doing any of it for yourself, for your own benefit, although you achieve benefit. One of the things I always like to point out is when you're practicing selfless service, when you're practicing kindness, include yourself as well. Include yourself within that kindness, as you are a self. You're not an other. I'll come back to Ramana Maharshi's statement when he's asked by a follower, how should we treat others? And he replied with a smile that there are no others. And it's a beautiful sentiment. And imagine if we lived our life just with that awareness. You don't have to dwell on it, but if we just had that awareness that there are no others, there is just simply life appearing in different forms, in a variety of forms. Dottie is here. Hello, Eric. I hope you've had a blessed day. I have had a really good day. I was out with my little camera. It's still too dark for me to use it on my first walk, as it's before the sunrise. So I rely on my phone because that offers a little bit of light if I catch something I want to film. But my little one, my little camera that I got for my birthday, I took it out later in the morning, and all kinds of wonderful things. There's always something to film. Life is always arising in front of us, and it's always miraculous. It's always beautiful. I know a lot of people, they see a robin. You see a robin every day, and they think it's just a robin. But it's a miracle in flight, a miracle on the ground, walking. And they're such friendly birds, it seems. They're not shy or secretive like many other birds. Robins are always available, and it's their availability that, and their beauty that I absolutely love so much. Flower says, school was great. It's tomorrow. Thingaban, Water Fest. It is tomorrow. It's the 12th, he said. I think you're going to have a really fun time. You got your water balloons all set. Dottie says a smile is a great selfless service. It is. And it's contagious. It has that rippling effect. It's a simple enough thing to do. I mentioned one of my favorite books. I always have it right at my desk. And this is Thingan is the Water Prep Fest. I'm going to have to look that up so I know exactly what you're participating in. I am slowly learning. Burmese. Let's see. Fingan. Let's see. We have Dottie said, I agree that there is always something to photograph for film. And it's amazing. Absolutely amazing. I love what holding a camera has done for me, and I wouldn't think that would have been the case. As I used to view it as sort of being a something that stood between me and the experience, until I realized that it was the experience itself, that there's no separation, that just because I'm using a tool doesn't take me from the experience. It's just a different type of experience. Our friend Destiny Forever Walks, PhD, is here. Destiny, how are you? Thank you for being here. She's saying hello. Happy Thursday. How are you? I'm doing great. I got some of my favorite people here. And my friend Richard Runs Trail is here. Richard Runs Trails. Hello, everyone. I'm doing a walk at lunch. Thanks for coming in, Richard. I haven't seen you on YouTube for a little while. I'm fortunate that I get to see you on Twitter. I'm actually really glad that I follow you on Twitter. But it's been a minute on YouTube. Flower says, happy day, Destiny. And happy Thursday. Hello, Flower. Blessings to you. Flower said, it's Thing John. You've been talking about that for some time, so that's pretty exciting. So it's a New Year festival. Usually occurs in the middle of April. It's a Buddhist festival celebrated over a period of 4 or 5 days. That's a long festival. You're going to have a blast. Destiny says, hello, Dottie. And Dottie says, I've just subbed you, Destiny. Would love you visit my channel. And Destiny, it's an absolutely beautiful channel. Dottie Dora takes amazing films. And she is all about the van life. And she subbed Richard as well. Richard is an outstanding ultra runner, as well as an all-around athlete. He's getting a pretty big bench press. Richard says, hi, Dottie and Destiny. On the road to a 300-pound bench press, I should add. Destiny saying hello and blessings to Richard. Flower says, some of your favorite people. Who? Well, Flower is definitely one of my favorite people. Anyone who can teach me even a word in Burmese is pretty amazing. And of course, Destiny Forever Walks, PhD, is, as I mentioned before, I consider her my soul sister. And Dottie, I'm awful glad that when she started her new channel, that she sought me out. So we were able to connect. And of course, Richard. Richard's been a big help and inspiration with my YouTube channel. Richard says, thanks, Dottie. Please send a message and I will sub. Richard says, yeah, not working from home now, so time more limited. I will catch up on the weekend. How's your training going? Don't you have a race in, is it June? I don't remember. Dottie says, I will leave a comment and have a look at your content later. I'm always interested in what other people do on YouTube, especially someone who runs 100-mile races on a regular basis. Destiny says, Dottie, please be careful promoting your own channel and also using the S word. I got you. Thank you, Destiny. Richard says, thanks, Eric. Flower says, didn't Destiny have a wrench? No, Destiny did not have a wrench, but I have been meaning to ask her if she would accept a wrench. I don't want to ever assume, because Destiny supports a whole lot of people. I enjoy her company. So, I don't want to do anything that I want her to be at rest and at peace here. Doesn't have to do anything. She contributes just with her presence. And that's the whole nature of the channel and the live stream, is we all get to simply be presence. Don't have to offer anyone anything other than ourselves, other than our friendliness, other than our welcomeness. Which reminds me, as I was talking about, let's see. Dottie says, thank you for the tip, Destiny. And our friend Vincent, Horror of Spice. Vincent, you were shooting for 50 feet plus the other day? Flower says, hey, hey, Horror. And it gets a hey, hey back. Richard says, it's going well. I have 25K in May. And that will be your comeback race, I believe, right? Destiny says, hello, Flower. I hear you, and thanks for your kind remarks. The blue wrench is something you earn and work for. It is. And if anyone has ever earned anything on YouTube, it is Destiny Forever Walks, PhD. She has earned my lifelong friendship. She has earned my respect. She has earned my deep, deep spiritual love. And if she would accept a wrench, I would be honored to give her one. I started giving a few people some wrenches because I was told by Stoner Bob, 420 Network, who visits every once in a while, and he's actually helped me out a bit, that if you gave people wrenches, it was easier for them to connect because you can just put your finger on the wrench and you have the option of visiting their channel. And I wanted to do that instead of having someone who could share or drop people's channel. I'm trying to learn the proper lingo because I want everyone to take part in the conversation. I want everyone to be relaxed. I don't want anyone to have to work, including me. Destiny and I have had an inspired title of the Fellowship of Beingness, as she would end the conversations with, I enjoyed the fellowship. And I love that expression. Absolutely beautiful. And since we're not here, again, we're not working. We're not doing anything other than being friends, being in that fellowship, simply being. It just seemed to fit the fellowship of beingness, the fellowship of being. It's what we do. And it takes off any kind of weight, any kind of responsibility. All we have to do is relax. And everyone's welcome. Destiny says, or let's see, Flower says, that's a nice message. Destiny is saying hello to Whore of Spice. And she gets a hey back. Vincent did 60 feet yesterday, which is a 10 feet PR for Vincent. That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. That deserves, if I knew how to do emojis, I would give you a big thumbs up and a big heart. Man, keep it up. Sorry, my cat is meowing at me. And Richard says, yes, the first one since surgery. Love comeback races. Love the story of a comeback. It's going to be big for you, Richard, because you're going to get that feeling again. What it is to be on the trails, what it is to race, and it'll just escalate from there. Dottie says, I always wondered what the wrench was for. This is what Stone and Bob told me. Someone else says, no, that's not true. If someone has a wrench, they can drop links. But I notice on other people's live stream, if I click on the wrench, the option to visiting their channel comes up. So I thought I definitely want to share it because I'm not a channel that, I'm not like Mayhem and Miracle. I'm not like James Skype. I'm not putting that, making those connections for people like that. But I want everyone to connect. I want everyone to be able to have that option because there's been some really meaningful relationships formed in the chats. And I think it's important for people not to rely on coming here to be in contact and to support and to help, but to be able to do it all the time. Flower says, let me rephrase something. Thingion is pronounced Thinjon. You know what? I looked that up and I saw that with a GY here. I appreciate that correction. Puts me on the right track. It's actually derived from a Sanskrit word. I did not know that. It's a Buddhist version of a Hindu mythology. Flower says we got into a bit of an emotional subject at the end of live stream, and I apologize if it was too much. It wasn't too much. I'm okay getting into heavy emotions. I'm okay sharing stories of my mother and father and how I helped care for them. Something being heavy emotionally doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. For me, it was such a privilege to be at my father's bedside the very moment he passed away. Obviously, if I had a choice, I would have postponed that for years into the future. But I didn't have that. But I did have the opportunity to hold his hand. I did have the opportunity to stay with him through the night, as I know, one, from neuroscience, that consciousness remains in the body as everything's shutting down. There are still experiences going on, whatever comes after. So this was the opportunity to hold my father's hand and continue letting him know that he was loved, that he was honored, that whatever was coming was exactly what needed to happen, and that I was with him the entire way. I closed my eyes, I meditated. So yeah, it was a heavy topic, but it was a good one, and I'm glad we went in that direction. So Flower, yeah, never feel that you have to apologize for something like that. Nothing's off topic here at all. Vincent says, French can share channels, and yes, you can click on them to get their channels. Perfect. That's what I want, because I want people to be able to maintain those meaningful relationships that start here. And K. Renee's Garden is here. Hey, Yogi, and everyone in the chat, working and listening, and I appreciate that. Are we at number 15 for the burpees for today, or have we surpassed the 15 number mark? Dottie says, sorry guys, I've got to make a hasty retreat, sorry. Pick up my son up 4 from work, and I'll be back if you're still alive. Take care, lovely people. Well, thank you for coming in. I really appreciate it. Destiny says, Daddy Dora, the blue wrench is for being a moderator in someone's chat or in their channel comments. There are YouTube rules to explain a moderator duties. Google to learn more. I need a Google to learn more. I know my friend Relaxing is really trying to help my channel, and I have no idea technically what any of that stuff means. I'm sort of relying on, word of mouth, that people might say, hey, there's some people talking about some really important stuff sometimes, and sometimes we're just catching up and we're having fun and all of it's good. Or someone stumbles in. I mean, Flower literally just like clicked out of curiosity, and she has become an essential part of these conversations. Your toast is here. Hello, my friend. Flower says, I always wish I could time travel to control time from a young age, and I still do. Yeah, I think that it's a Pandora's box. Things happen as they happen, and they couldn't happen any other way. I think it's best to enjoy life moment by moment by moment. In a sense, you already are time traveling. More so, the presence that is you has always been. Technically, if we're going by yogic philosophy, Vedic philosophy, we would say from ever. Existence and awareness has always been. If we want to just go from the human perspective, that when you were, even before you were born, there was awareness within the mother's womb. There was the same awareness the moment you were born, the same exact awareness when you were 10, the same exact awareness is going to be there when you're 30, 60, 90, and when you leave the world. Again, from a yoga perspective, even after you leave the world. But if we just limit it from a human perspective, there has never been a moment that you have not been aware. And that awareness is who you are. So in that sense, the you, the essential, real you, has time traveled through all that time. That has not aged a bit. I remind myself that. Especially as I approach my last year in my 50s. Your toast, how are you? And Destiny is asking Kay Renee how she is. Richard has to go. Have a great day. Richard, thanks for popping in. Appreciate it. Destiny's saying hello to your toast. You were saying hi back. And Flower has to go. We got a, oh shucks, the electricity is off, and the battery is 11. Sorry. Kay says that, hey, Miss Destiny, Flower, your toast, Dottie, Richard, and Whore of Spice. Colleen S. Serendipity. Man, what an awesome name. Says hello. Truly, truly an awesome name. One of the things Dottie and I were talking about, she talked about a great, great act of kindness is a smile of service. Because I was talking about Seva, S-E-V-A, which in Sanskrit means selfless service, that we don't give for our own benefit, although we do benefit by giving, but we do it for the purpose of being in service. In the same way Mother Teresa was of service when she was asked, how do you show up every single day doing what you do? How do you show up in an orphanage hospital tending to the most diseased children on the face of the earth, children with leprosy? And how do you stay so strong and not let it wear you down? And her reply was that I simply see Jesus in all of his distressing disguises. She sees the face of Jesus in every single child that she treated. That's selfless service. For the benefit of the children, for the benefit of Jesus, who she saw in their faces, and for her own benefit. Because truly, when you're selfless serving, again, you're not doing it for your own benefit, but you do benefit. You can Google up kindness and how your body physiologically as well as neurologically reacts, not just to receiving kindness, but to giving kindness. What a huge difference. That even showing up on someone's YouTube chat and being kind, which is why I love a lot of the way people come in with Destiny offering blessings to everyone, a grand rising with our friend Goldie will come in with a hello, lovely people, or Dottie will come in with a hello, beautiful people. Vincent comes in with a hey, hey, hey that's just full of joy and good vibes. All of it. That's a gift. You're coming into someone's channel with a gift. And of course, you have people doing the opposite. But you can tell the difference. You get that feeling, even through the YouTube interwebs, how someone is vibing and back and forth. When you get a hey, hey, hey from Vincent, you know they're vibing on a higher plane. When you get a blessings from Destiny, when you get a hello, beautiful people, you know that they're vibing on a higher plane. When you get a not so pleasant comment, you know that it's not quite there. Doesn't mean it's bad. It's a different experience. However, once they're here, then I always think, well, it's up to me to rise to the situation, to not condemn anyone for what they do, what they say, but to welcome. And in that welcome, maybe everyone's lifted. Maybe I'm lifted. Maybe that other person is lifted. Maybe all the love that's already in the room lifts everyone up. And then when they go on someone else's channel, they got that feeling with them. Their heart center is open and they approach YouTube as a whole with that. That's the plan. And Destiny says, hello, Colleen. Blessings to you and happy Thursday. Flower says, before I go, don't forget to like everyone. Thank you for that, Flower. Awful kind of you. Colleen says, hello, Destiny. Blessings to you. Also, been a while. Destiny says, yes, Colleen, it's been a while. And it was good to see you, sis. And you as well. Our friend Tokyo is here. Hello, buddy. Um, he's saying, hope all is well. It is. Thank you. Hey, if you guys, you've heard me talk about gaming channels, and my original thought of gaming channel was it's not for me. Just for one, I wasn't really into it. And I thought, well, that's their thing. I was wrong. It's actually my thing too. Not the gaming, but gaming channels of certain people who are just so welcoming, always have good words to say to people, and they're building a community. You can't go wrong with building a community. So definitely hook up Tokyo's channel. He's growing larger, as well as Smitty Deuce's 187. He's getting huge. Well deserved as well. Destiny is saying hello and blessings to Tokyo. And Tokyo said he liked and shared. Thank you. I appreciate that. And Colleen says, we need more kindness in the world today. We certainly do. And you know what? It starts with us. Even when we don't feel like it. Because it grows. It expands. Best thing I've ever did was adopt kindness as a practice. And practice is the key word. Because practice means you're not always good at it. I'm not always good at it. But since it's a practice, I get to start over each and every time. And life always gives you another opportunity to be kind throughout the day, through every occasion. And there's a power there. This is why when I talk about yoga, when I say that I teach yoga, and I really don't like the word, I don't like saying that I teach yoga as much as I like thinking that I just hopefully inspire people to examine yoga. That if you're not practicing the ethical foundation of yoga, which is called the yamas and the niyamas, there's 5 of each, then you're not really practicing yoga. You're just stretching. You're doing breathing exercises. Yoga is literally based on kindness. It's based on non-harming, non-greed, non-stealing, sacred service to other people. It's based upon the same principles as Mother Teresa, seeing the distressing disguise of Jesus in the faces of the children that she was helping. That's yoga. She would never, Mother Teresa would never claim to be a yogi, of course. She would say she was a simple nun in service to God. That's what a yogi is. Tokyo saying hello, Destiny, and many blessings to you. And he continues with, we love having you support us, man. Means a lot, buddy. It's my pleasure, 100%. And thank you for all your support. And thank you, too. Michael Robinson is here. Michael, how are you? How are you feeling? Michael says, it's raining today and the power keeps going out. And I wish I could stay. I'll be in and out. We'll be here for a bit. Colleen says, yes, I agree. 24/7, 365. Exactly. And we just keep practicing. We don't need, the great thing about a practice, again, is we don't put that extra weight on ourselves. We don't, it's not a burden. Because we know it's just, we're giving freely from the heart. The heart itself, the mind gets tired. The ego says, I've had enough giving. When is it my turn? When am I getting something out of this deal? Or haven't I given enough? It's fatigue. The mind has limited energy. The heart center, which is where our reality resides according to yogic Buddhist philosophy. It's the heart center that matters. That's the base of awareness. If you say to someone, if you're making a point, you don't say, I am, touch your chest. You say, I am. And you do it with force. You do it with meaning. Because that's where the I am, that's where presence, our presence, resides. And of course, it doesn't reside in the body. The heart center is expansive. Heart center is the world. The heart center is the universe. Simply contained energetically right here. And it never gets tired. And it never says, what's in it for me? It never, this is what, let's go over here to the big Google machine. As everyone knows, I'm a big fan of Googling things, and I'm a big fan of reading stuff. So this is the heart center. Some people are always surprised when I bring this up. I'll read that in a minute. Let's catch up here. Destiny says, hello, Michael Robinson. Happy Thursday and blessing to you. And our friend Eric Lapointe is here. Hello, everyone. I'm just listening while I plant trees. Wow. You know what, Eric, I'm awfully glad you told me that. To know that we're connected in the act of tree planting. From, I'm not sure where you are located, but wherever you're located, all of us here in the chat are connected with you in the act and the art of tree planting. And I know Destiny appreciates that, because I know of no one who loves and appreciates trees as much as our friend Destiny Forever Walks, PhD, does. So thank you. Thank you for joining in, as always. Eric always has a lot of great insights. Destiny says, love and kindness are free gifts given to all and to share. I appreciate and love each of you, your kindness and love. Thanks, Eric, for bringing us all together. Fellowship of Beingness. Again, absolutely love that title. Odom's Homestead is here, saying, hey. Odom, how are you? Eric is in Connecticut. I spent about a week in New Haven. Visited Mystic Seaport. I was just a kid. One of my father's older sisters lived there. Beautiful. Oh, and I climbed, Mount Great Cloud? Is that the highest point in Connecticut? It's the Appalachian Trail. We actually climbed it late one night in a storm. We were actually driving to Maine, and we decided to stop and climb it. By climb, I mean walk, because it was on the Appalachian Trail. But it was a good hike. What am I saying? Hi to everyone. Dusty says, happy Thursday and blessings. Eric Lapointe. And a hello to Odom. Hey, Odom. Eric Lapointe is planting trees. Eric, if you take a break, I don't want to interrupt your work. Let us know what trees you're planting. Odom just was it Saturday? Purchased some trees. Purchased some trees in Savannah, Georgia, and traveled with them in his car and his wife all the way back to Tennessee. Amazing. Destiny saying hello to Odom. Odom says he's blessed. Wonderful answer. Yeah, I'm curious about what kind of trees. Kay is saying, hey, Odom, and hey to Eric Lapointe. So, the heart center, kindness. Here's a perfect description. And if you were to tell this person that he was a yogi, would have no idea what we were talking about, no idea what I was talking about. However, this might be, it's definitely my top three. It might be my all-time favorite passage in the Bible. St. Paul's letter to the Corinthians. This is kindness. This is love. Love is patient. Love is kind. It is not jealous. It is not pompous. It is not inflated. It is not rude. It does not seek its own interest. It is not quick-tempered. It does not brood over injury. It does not rejoice over wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never fails. I don't know if a more beautiful thing has ever been written. I don't know if a more apt description of heart awareness has ever been said. Love is patient, love is kind. Now, if we were to switch that with the mind, where the ego resides, the ego doesn't really exist. And of course, we confuse ourselves with the ego, but we're not. We're heart awareness. The ego is just a collection of thoughts, opinions, and beliefs that's ever changing. But that heart awareness always stays. It's always present. Never falters. So the ego would say, love is impatient. Love isn't kind. Love says what's in it for me. The ego says that love is jealous and it's pompous, that it's inflated, that it's often rude. The ego says the opposite of all that. And then it also says, but I want it. I want love. And what can I do to get love? The heart says, what can I do to keep giving love? How can I serve? How can I extend that love to everyone? What's blocking that love? What's blocking that recognition of love? So yoga says, reside in the heart center, because that's your true identity. That's where love resides. The ego says, hey, we're here for a short time. I need to get mine as quick as possible, and I need to hold on to it, or someone else is going to get it before I do. Odom says, I go on vacation to buy trees. Man, that sounds like a pretty awesome vacation. You were in your, watching that live stream, Odom, you were in your element. Not only do you go to vacation to buy trees, you take your wife on her birthday on vacation to buy trees. Colleen is saying hi to Kay. Our friend Lewis, it is what it is. He already got his burpees in for the day. Good morning, YouTube family. Just stopping by while I'm on a break to say hello and to hit the like or the thumbs up. Thank you. Appreciate that. It was also great seeing you get those reps in early in the morning. Destiny says, Eric, I have to leave now, but I will catch you another time. Thanks for sharing your thoughts, your wisdom, blessing, and love to you all, and to everyone in the chat. Enjoy your day. Thank you, Destiny. I appreciate you being here. It is what it is, says hey to Kay. And to our friend Destiny. Eric says, Fraser fir at the moment. And hello to everyone. It's a pretty tree. I love all the trees that are in the evergreen family. So it's amazing when you visit any tradition, religious, philosophical, or otherwise, that's based in love. And the amazing thing for me with Christianity is its principle is in love and kindness. It might not be organized that way, or might not seem to be organized that way, but its heart and soul is about kindness. It's been said that if every word in the Bible, every word in the New Testament was destroyed, except for the Beatitudes, except for the Sermon on the Mount, that would be enough to base an entire religion on, for Christianity to thrive. And I always sort of think it's a shame to wander any further from that path. Because sometimes it struck me, the great thing about yoga, the great thing about Buddhism, is they don't make any promises. They say, both use 8 in their tradition. There's the Eightfold Path of Buddhism, and there's the 8 limbs of yoga. Yoga says, hey, if you want a rich, meaningful, purposeful life of love and service, accumulating in enlightenment, of awakening, this is the path to follow. The Buddha said that life is suffering, Four Noble Truth, life is suffering. The reason why we suffer is clinging to our attachments and our aversions. And here's a way to escape that suffering while you're still alive. And it's the Eightfold Path of Buddhism. And it's based on right living, right relationships, right meditation. It's based on love. Christianity seemed to lack a practice, at least organized. People go to church and then they do their own thing throughout the week, and then they come back to church. The Sermon on the Mount actually gives you a practice. It tells you this is how to live. This is, if you want to live a life according to Christ, who is the master of love, the master of loving awareness, the master of the heart center, here's the path. This is what you do. But we've strayed away from that. Christianity has. Now, I was brought up a Christian. I went to Catholic school. I don't consider myself a Christian any longer, but I don't not consider myself a Christian any longer. That I absolutely love the path that Jesus laid out for everyone to follow. My criticism is never the path of Jesus. My criticism at times is the path of the church, which seems to devalue all those important lessons that we've been given. The most powerful lesson we just celebrated 2 weeks ago, almost 2 weeks ago, which is the power of forgiveness, and that forgiveness itself is what transcends us. When Jesus was on the cross, he could have called upon the power of God to smite those who were injuring him. But what did he do? He asked for forgiveness. And he used another great yogic phrase, forgive them, Father, they do not know what they do. That's yogic psychology. It's Christian psychology. It was a wonderful psychology offered to us from Jesus Christ. They don't know what they're doing. In yoga, they're saying we're caught up in the mind. We're caught up in the ego. We believe that we're our ego and that we are being pulled by our attachments and our aversions, our fear of death, our belief that we're the ego. And we don't know that we're being controlled. We think that we're in control, but we're not. We're simply reacting. Big difference between being reactive and being responsive. And I absolutely love the word responsibility, our ability to respond. We've given up our ability to respond in place of being reactive. And we can see that. What happens if we're cut off in traffic? What happens if a cashier in a store who's having a bad day is rude to us? How to react? Someone bumps into us and doesn't apologize. Someone doesn't, here was my old pet peeve. And it shows you how life can teach you in any moment. If I would hold the door open for someone and they would just go through and not acknowledge that act of kindness, That's the opposite of selfless service. I'm expecting something. I'm expecting a thank you. I'm expecting a whatever. Instead of letting it go, instead of responding with continued kindness, continued selfless service, my ego would react and I'd be offended. I go out of my way to hold the door for someone and they can't even say thank you. That's not selfless service. It's also not truly being kind, because I expected something out of it. I expected gratification. Let's see. Let's catch up here. It is what it is saying hey to Odom. And Colleen is saying hi to Is What It Is. Destiny said hello on how are you? Lewis, blessings, love to you. And it is what it is saying hello to Colleen. Love seeing everyone catch up. Odom says, that's my heart. Love that woman. I can see why. Being able to go tree shopping with a woman that you love, being able to share your passion with anyone you love is truly a gift. Dusty says, you too, Odom. Keep stepping out into your greatness. You're an amazing and kind person. He definitely is. Agree 100%. Odom has been a true and steadfast friend. And it just occurred to me that steadfast is a word I might not have ever used before in an actual sentence. So, yeah, forgiveness. For me, forgiveness is the ultimate act of kindness. And it's not something that we bestow on someone. It's really not us that forgives. What we do is simply recognize the fact that something has occurred and that now it's done. And we let it go. Forgiveness is simply motion. Everything continuing. My all-time favorite quote about forgiveness from Mark Twain, or at least attributed to Mark Twain, that forgiveness is the fragrance released from the violet upon the heel that has crushed it. Absolutely beautiful. As the violet is crushed, it releases the fragrance. That's forgiveness. Instantaneous. Doesn't think about it. It doesn't brood about it. It doesn't say, man, how thoughtless. Didn't even notice me. Instantly forgives. Releases that fragrance. And we can say it's the fragrance of love. It's the fragrance of forgiveness. It's the fragrance of continuation. The entire psycho-spiritual text, A Course in Miracles, is based on forgiveness. And I spent a lot of time, I spent 20 years studying A Course in Miracles. And then at that point, after 20 years, when I finally finished the entire course, it took me that long because it is a textbook and a workbook, as well as a manual for teachers. And the entire premise is eradicating the ego. The ego doesn't want to be eradicated. So it always rebels. So I would get into the course, and then it would get difficult, as I would think, I can't go that far. I can't be that forgiving. Not yet. I got some resentments towards some people that I need to deal with first. Course in Miracles says there are no true resentments. It's an illusion. It's the mind. How can you resent something that is no longer in existence? It's just not here. It happened, but in this present moment, it never occurred. We're free. When it's sort of reframed that way, and we see that forgiveness isn't something that we bestow upon someone else, it's something that we give ourselves as an act of kindness to set us free. So now we're no longer energetically tied to that past event or that person. We're liberated. Our friend Squirrel Sniper is here. How are you, my friend? We get a greeting from the United Kingdom. So yeah, forgiveness is never about the other person or situation or event. It's always about ourselves. It's always what we give ourselves. I just Googled up forgiveness in A Course in Miracles terms. We forgive our illusions about ourselves, others, and our Creator, and accept ourselves as God created us, which goes to what St. Paul was saying when he describes love. Accept ourselves as God created us. It represents the true meaning of love on earth, as forgiveness was not need in the state of mind, and sees no loss, attack, sin, guilt, pain, or suffering. And if we argue that, well, then if we argue against that, then we are arguing against what St. Paul wrote in his letters to the Corinthians, who outlined it all. Not to mention, as I pointed out, it's a way of being liberated and free. Seth Moore is here saying, hello, it's me, Normal. Hello, my friend, how are you? So, after 20 years of studying A Course in Miracles, I had my own realization that the ego didn't need to be eradicated. It just needed to be seen through for what it was. And it doesn't, the more we fight it, thinking that we can become liberated from the ego, the more we're removed from forgiveness, the more we're removed from love, the more that we're removed from awakening and even enlightenment. I don't think enlightenment is the absence of an ego. I think it's being aware that we're not the ego, and we can hold it and navigate life with a little more ease and comfort. We're more apt to let things go, including our egoic attachments. So, circling back, all the way back to the beginning, we were talking about Siva. I was talking about selfless service and kindness, and I was mentioning Deepak Chopra's The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. This book is maybe 25 years old. It came out in the early 90s, but this copy is actually signed to Milka and I from Deepak. It's not about traditional success. It's not about making money. It's not about achieving anything. It's about self-realization. And it's really about the Vedic path. Let's see. Flower says, I was scrolling through shorts and I'm here again. Appreciate you being back. Seems like they want me to stay until my battery dies. Yeah, I figured I'll talk for another 5 minutes or so. Squirrel Sniper says, is there such a thing as no ego? The ego is the navigator. I'm not 100% sure the ego is the navigator. I don't think ego navigates me. But ego is present. I recognize the ego. I see the ego. I often react from the ego, but it's no longer a driving force in my life because it's so easy to recognize now. It's so easy to smile at. That my life is led largely from the heart center. And the heart center is free of ego. The ego resides as a thought. Even neuroscience has shown there's no actual presence of an ego, that you can't dissect the mind and find anything that is called an ego. It's a collection of thoughts, and thoughts are ever changing, always changing. So the ego is fluid. It's not even our personality, it's our belief of a personality. But having said that, and then it sort of coming back to the question, is there such a thing as no ego? I got to say I don't know, because I've been in some presence of people. One was actually considered a Vedic saint, and I certainly did not get it. Everything fell quiet when I was in her presence. I mean, my mind literally stopped. There was no mind, no ego. And I can only, as soon as I left, driving down the road again, thoughts are coming back, ego's coming back. But in that immediate presence, nothing but love, nothing but awareness. And that's why I think, and I always say who we are, and through self-inquiry, we come to that point. Who we are is loving awareness, which is aware of the ego, but is not the ego. So when the ego comes and goes, awareness remains. However, I agree 100% that it is it's a great navigational tool. And when we realize it's a tool, then ego is in service to us. We're not in service to the ego. Flower is down to 1%. And it's 1%. If I stop chatting, you will know why. Hang in there. We'll be calling it a day in just a bit. Our friend Brian Lane is here. Hi, Eric. Hi, Miss Destiny. Hope everyone is doing well today. Destiny has left the building. She's left the room. Flower is saying hi to Brian. Brian says, was working on Turtle Yard and wind was blowing everything around, was getting frustrated. I did, I got a couple great clips of some turtles today. Still haven't seen the big ones. I haven't seen the big snapping turtles that come out when the water's warmer. But a lot of the little ones are coming out to catch some sun. We have these little, in the pond, there's these little tiny flower islands, and the geese have been laying the eggs on them. And I got a really great nature clip of the geese and turtles both just sitting there enjoying the sun. Brian says, so I quit and said I'll finish it another time. It's getting close to be burpee time for you, isn't it? Brian says, I don't want to work on it with frustration. It's actually a wise move, I think. Nothing really flows. Nothing comes together when we work out of frustration. There's a wonderful thing in Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. It's a book that I've read once a decade for 40 years now. So I've read it 4 times, maybe more. I might have come back to it. And Robert Pirsig, the author and narrator, is talking about when he was a technical writer in Japan. And he was comparing being a technical writer in America versus Japan and how they do things. That he used an example of a bike for some reason, when I first recalled it, I always use the example of a toaster oven or a blender. And in America, I'm going to stick with, let's say, stick with the toaster oven. In America, when you take the toaster oven out of the box and it's all in parts and you need to assemble it, and you open up the instructions and it says part A, B, C, D, part A1, part A2, part all of that. And then it starts showing you how to assemble things. In Japan, it'll say, we're happy you bought this particular brand of toaster oven. Please achieve peace of mind before assembling your toaster oven. What a huge difference. So, before working on the turtle yard, please achieve peace of mind before working on the turtle yard. And surrender your frustration. That would be Zen and the art of turtle yard. So that was a wise move, Brian. And it was even more important that you recognized it. Instead of growing with frustration and getting frustrated with your frustration, that's the biggest spiritual myth of all. Getting frustrated and then getting frustrated with yourself because you're frustrated, thinking, man, I'm not a very good meditator. I can't believe how frustrated I am. You're frustrated. You're frustrated. Let it go. Be frustrated until it passes. Come back to your original peace of mind or originalness and start again. It's the biggest gift we have. Start again. Mina Monsters here. It says, hey, how are you? I'm well, my friend. How are you? Thank you for coming by. I appreciate that. Brian says, yes, sir. In a little while, burpees. But yeah, wind was blowing all the stuff around. It was really muddy. But instead of getting real upset, I kind of had a good laugh at it. That basically what we've been talking about all afternoon. That's responding instead of reacting. And it's responding from the heart center instead of reacting from the mind. So for me, it's pretty amazing. Brian is saying hi to Flower. And Mina Monster says, how was your day going, bro? Pretty well, actually. It's been a good day. Colleen says, I was listening in the background. Gotta go now. Battery running low. Nice meeting everyone. God bless you all. God bless you too, my friend. She says, have a great day. And you have a great day as well. Man, I really appreciate you stopping in and inspiring the conversation and the insights that you offered. And I hope you come back. Brian says, hey to Mina. And Brian says, thanks. And Brian says, I just kind of had a good laugh at it too. Here's the amazing thing, Brian. The ego never laughs at itself. It's impossible for the ego to laugh at itself. The ego is too full of self-importance to laugh at itself. But that heart center, awareness, unconditional love, can laugh at just about anything and forgive anything. That's the difference between responsive and reactive. So it's really amazing to, when you see someone acting out of that responsiveness, acting out of that heart center, as you were doing. And Flower is back and says, I'm not going anywhere until this ends. I appreciate that. Brian says, I hope everyone has a good day. So, speaking of ending, we'll end it here. I'm going to do my own meditation coming up, my last one for the day. And I will my last meditation, I do a little good night prayer and chant before bed as I do my last pranayama before I go to sleep. Just a little thank you chant, a little appreciate that I was gifted another day. But my last formal sitting meditation is going to be in about 10 minutes. So we'll call it a day now. I'll be back in about, I'll be back at about 5, a little bit after, and we'll continue the talk. This was a great discussion, and I appreciate everyone's feedback and insights. Squirrel Sniper, thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. Brian, Flower, Colleen, Mina, it is what it is. Odom, Dottie, and Vincent. Vincent was here. Appreciate everyone. And Eric Lapointe. Eric Lapointe took a break from planting trees to respond. Brian says, I hope everyone has a good day. And that, yeah, it was just a little bit of frustration, but it's over now, and I'm going to work on it later. I told Snuppy, my turtle, I said, we'll stay in today. Yeah, keep the turtle safe. Flower says, bye, Eric. Bye, Flower. I hope to see you later if you can make it. If you can't, that's fine. I know tomorrow is going to be a really big day. And I'm looking forward to hearing about it when you have an opportunity. Brian says, I hope you have a blessed day, Eric. You as well, my friend. And Eric says, okay, sounds good. Bye, everyone. And Brian, thank you. Saying don't forget to like. Appreciate that. Thanks, guys. Come on by later if you get a chance. And if you want to. No one's ever obligated. Our friend Noble is here. Hello, Yogi. I finally caught you live, buddy. And you caught me live just as I was saying goodbye to everyone. But I'll be back. I was actually going to... Flower says that she won't make it later. Well, I'm sorry to have missed you. But, again, enjoy the Waterfest. I know you've been talking about it for some time. It's going to be big. Brad is saying goodbye to Flower. Noble, I got to go. Man, I appreciate you stopping in. I was actually just about to check and see when you're going live, or if you're going to be announcing another game, so I can catch you. I've had you up and playing again. As a matter of fact, what was the last thing that I had? This was actually from a month ago. I had the Noble Scrolling Traveler is living live from, again, about a month. So I'm going to have something else up and playing. For some reason, I got cut off there. Sounds good, buddy. I hope you have the best day ever. I hope you do too. So hopefully you'll, no games today, but hopefully you'll be live, and I'll be able to pop up and keep you up and running. I'll be live again at about 5. So if anyone has time to pop in, even just to say hi, it's always appreciated. If Noble is going live, hey, make sure you visit Noble and hit the like button. So we're doing a great service to the health and well-being of our friend Noble, helping him do push-ups. So make sure you visit, make sure you hit the like button. Guys, I'll see everyone later today. Thanks.